She didn't cry. That was the first thing people noticed, not the slap, not the coffee spilling across expensive leather, not the way the entire diner froze when a man in an Armani suit raised his hand to a woman in a faded cardigan. She didn't cry. Dorothy Washington was 72. Every morning at 6:30, she rose without an alarm. Her apartment was small but never cluttered lace curtains her mother had sewn, a mantel lined with photographs, her Ph.D. in education from 1974, her wedding day with Samuel, dancing like teenagers, and 3 recent pictures of her son Vincent at White House receptions, G20 dinners, charity galas in London, always in a tailored suit, always calm, always respected. She made tea 1 sugar, no milk. Her phone rang. "Morning, Ma. Sleep well?" "Like a baby," she said. "You sound tired." "I'm fine. Rosie's today?" "Of course. Corner booth. You know I don't do private rooms." "I know. I just wish you'd let me send the car. And I wish you'd let me sit with people who still remember my name." That was their language, quiet, deep, unshakable. Across the city, Richard Sterling woke in a penthouse that cost more than most families earned in a lifetime. His office had floor-to-ceiling windows, Italian marble, and a view of the city that made him feel untouchable. His assistant brought him files. "Mrs. Carter's team is waiting," she said. "She's offered to fly over." Sterling didn't look up. "Tell her I don't negotiate with people who can spell a confidentiality correctly. She speaks 5 languages, runs 3 tech firms. Then she should have learned English before applying for a visa." He scrolled past headlines about systemic bias in corporate law. Not his problem. At noon, he walked into Rosie's Diner, a place that smelled of toast, coffee, and decades of ordinary lives. He hated it. He ordered a table, like a command. He sat beside Dorothy. His briefcase brushed hers. Her coffee cup tipped. Brown liquid spread across leather, across documents, across weeks of billable hours. Sterling exploded. "What the hell was that?" Dorothy reached for napkins. "I'm so sorry. Let me help you clean that." "You think a napkin fixes this?" he shouted. "These are legal filings, worth more than your entire block." Helen Morrison, 78, leaned forward. "It was an accident, sir." Sterling turned on her. "You think this is funny? You people think you can just wander in and treat everything like a public park?" Dorothy stood. Slowly. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. "I've been coming here since before you were born. I paid my taxes. I raised a son who's never once asked for special treatment, and I've never once been told I didn't belong." Sterling stepped closer. "You're a relic, a burden, and you're lucky I didn't call security." His hand moved fast, sudden. The slap echoed. A phone clicked. A fork dropped. The diner held its breath. Dorothy touched her cheek, didn't cry, looked at him. "You have no idea who you're speaking to." Sterling laughed. "I know exactly who you are. A nobody, from nowhere, worthless." He turned to leave. As he did, a silver ring rolled from her finger, Samuel's ring, worn for 52 years, and came to rest against the polished leather shoe of a man sitting quietly in the corner. The man didn't move. He picked it up, tucked it into his pocket. No note, no word, just silence. In a boardroom in Mayfair, Vincent Washington sat at the head of a long table. Around him, men and women in suits, some with ties, some with tattoos, all of them still. His phone buzzed. Ma. He stood. The room froze. He walked out, closed the door. "Ma?" A pause. "I had a little trouble at lunch. A man got upset about coffee. He struck me." Vincent didn't breathe. "What's his name?" "Richard Sterling. Some kind of lawyer." Silence. Then the coldest voice you'll ever hear. "I'm on my way." He returned to the room. "Change of plans." He named names. "Tommy, get me everything on Richard Sterling. Finances, debts, secrets, every email, every transaction, every affair. Maria, call Margaret Carter." Tell her it's about Dorothy Washington. No one asked why. They already knew. Sterling thought he was untouchable. He had friends in Parliament, a country club membership, a law firm that defended corporations against discrimination lawsuits. He didn't know Dorothy's friends were the ones who made the system work. Margaret Carter, the Crown Prosecution Service, as most respected prosecutor, had received her first scholarship thanks to a letter Dorothy wrote in 1989. Judge Patricia Martinez, whose career began because Dorothy connected her with her first legal job, received a call at midnight. Police Commissioner Frank Walsh, who once been evicted himself, got a text. Do the right thing. By morning, Sterling's case was flagged for priority review. By noon, his credit line was frozen. By evening, his law license was suspended pending formal inquiry. He called his club. His membership revoked. He called his lawyer. No answer. He Googled himself. His name was trending. Her justice for Dorothy. His old court transcripts were being posted online, cases where he mocked victims. Cases where he helped corporations silence whistleblowers. He sat alone in his penthouse. The silence wasn't empty. It was full. He opened his laptop, typed one message. I'm sorry, please forgive me. He hit send. To whom? No one knew. But somewhere, in a quiet office in Mayfair, Vincent Washington read it. He didn't reply. He didn't need to. The silence was louder than any apology. Dorothy returned to Rosie's the next day. Same booth, same tea, one sugar, no milk. Maria brought her scones, extra butter. Helen sat beside her. He's gone, Maria said. I know. He's checking into rehab for stress. Dorothy smiled. He needed it more than he knew. In the corner, a man in a gray coat walked past. He stopped, placed a small velvet box on the table. Inside, Samuel's ring, no note, just a single white rose. Dorothy picked it up, turned it in her fingers. She didn't cry. She never did. But for the first time in a long time, she looked at the world not with pity, not with anger, but with peace. Because she'd taught her son that justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just waits. And when the right moment comes, it doesn't need to shout. It just needs to be true. And the world, it bends. Not because someone screamed, but because someone stood and refused to be erased. She didn't cry, but the world did, and it never forgot.